to be who I am and to be on this journey and to deny Christianity as an important factor in my life is crazy. It's insane. I cannot negate the power that black, like African people, put on Christianity during slavery. We cannot deny that. I can't deny that. So I'm not Christian, but I utilize the Bible because I know that there's power within it because my ancestors invoked the power. Peace and love, family. It's Z here. I hope y'all are doing well. I'm going to be answering some questions that I got asked on Instagram just about me. So this is going to be a little get to know me. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoy it. It's a little hot. Okay, let's start off with, what is your big three? Can you guess? So I'm a Sagittarius sun, I'm an Aries rising, and I'm a Capricorn moon. I get down. I'm a hard worker, I'm a boss, I'm a CEO, I'm a fun, I'm adventurous. I think I have the best chart out there if you ask me. Big thinker, hard worker. Big dreamer, willing to work. A little impulsive, but rightfully so. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. How did I get into herbalism? Honestly, I don't even know. It kind of all just happened. It called me. Anything that I do spiritually has been something that was brought to me. I didn't necessarily go to it. I didn't go looking for like herbalism. Like I didn't have like a thought one day. I was like, I wanna be an herbalist and go look for it. It kind of just came to me. Same with spirituality. Like, you know, I walked into a local herbal store because I was called to it, and then, you know, I got into herbalism, and then that same day I was gifted a book that I was just re-gifted because I had a house fire, so I lost it, but I was gifted a book by someone in the herbal store that worked there, Ramon, shout out to you, and it was this, mind you, can you see, called Old Style Conjure, Hoodoo, Root Work, and Folk Magic. Mind you, I was gifted this book, and I was gifted this along with Herbal Healing for Women, and another book, but I forgot honestly. So I was gifted these books. These books was gifted to me. I don't know what he saw in me at the time that made him give me these books, but it completely changed my life. And I am a full-on advocate for not making any moves until it's in alignment with me or until it comes to me. I don't like to do anything unless it is made clear that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And so that's just how it happened. I was gifted those books, and it changed my life. I've always been a reader ever since I was young. I love to read. So it wasn't, you know, it was easy. It was easy to get into it. It was easy to kind of merge into it. And I was always into history, like as a student, always into history. I was a straight A student. I was above 4.0 student. So learning was something that was natural to me. And I always had this deep sense of, I always had this deep connectedness to history, to Black history, to my people, to slavery, to my ancestors, way before I got into spirituality. I grew up Christian. I grew up in a heavily Christian household. We went to church every Sunday. We had Sunday school and Bible study at the house, like that type of, I grew up like that. But that never stopped me from asking questions. Like I was in the church asking, well, how do you know if you're saved? Well, how do you know who Jesus is? I was in church asking these questions. So I've always been curious, about life. I always had questions. I always challenged authority because that's just what made sense to me. So it's not too far off. Like what I do now, what I practice now is not far off from how I grew up and who I am truly. This is just who I am. And the universe, God will send you people to elevate you, to elevate your journey, to put you on the path that you need to be on to fulfill your purpose. And that's what happened. Granted, I may not have like immediate like support within my family who believe in the same things. God sent people to me. I believe that God sent me to Blue Now to meet Ramon and Jabad, and they changed my life. God told him to give me these books because he knew that that was a part of what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm supposed to be studying. And that's how I got into it. I got into it because God told me to, led me to what I needed to get into. That's quite simply the answer. I've always had a strong connection with my intuition ever since I was a child. So when I have a strong sense to be led somewhere, I do it. I listen. I've always listened to myself. I've always listened to my instincts, which could have come off as stubborn when I was a kid or rebellious as a kid, or like I said, I questioned authority because I listened to myself. So when things didn't make sense, I did not care how old you were. I never cared about that. It's like, this don't make sense to me. This don't feel right in my body, so I'm not going to go with it. Right? And similar to when I was growing up in a Christian household, Christianity didn't align with me in the sense of Jesus, right? Like Jesus, Moses, David, all of them in the book. Like, I didn't relate to that. I never felt like those were my ancestors because they're not, right? So I began questioning religion when I was in like the 5th grade, when I was in the 6th grade, when I started learning about science. Like, everything's, it's like a domino effect. Like, once I started learning about evolution and science and all this stuff, it debunked everything that I learned growing up. So for a while and mind you, when I was young, right, like 4th grade, 5th grade, 4th, 5th, 6th, I went to a church called Merge. And if you're from the DMV, you probably know about Merge. And when I say the DMV, I mean Metro, DC, Maryland, Virginia. If you can get there on the Metro. You probably know Merge. Merge was like a youth church in Maryland, and they did like go-go gospel. And I was really in that. I got saved. I really was in that. And then one day I just wasn't. And one day everything stopped making sense to me. I disconnected from that sense of religion. I no longer was religion after a while. Because religion is organized, right? Excuse me. It's organized. So as I grew up, I realized I'm not meant to be limited to my beliefs or limited to my thought processes or limited to my actions. I should be able to act freely, think freely, be freely, and be free. And organized religion goes against that. You're not supposed to question it. You're just supposed to do. And that's not me. That's not me as a natural person. Like, naturally, ever since I was young, my nickname growing up was George. Like Curious George. Because I always had to know why. What is this? Hello? What? So being in a religion that kind of put you in a sense where you cannot ask questions, you just gotta have to listen. Nah, fam, that ain't me. That ain't Z. But this is not to say that I don't utilize Christianity to this day. Because in order for us to really be ingrained in our roots, we have to honor the ways that our ancestors did things. And you know, if you know anything about slavery and anything about African people, you know, when we were enslaved, we were not meant to practice our own religion. We were not supported in our own religion. Our native religion was looked down upon. It was demonized because it didn't make sense to the white man. It didn't make sense. So, as we know, black people disguised their religion with Christianity. Because in the end, right, you notice that all of these religions have some things in common. So it wasn't hard for black people to figure this out, for Africans to figure this out. It was not hard at all for them to say, okay. It wasn't hard for Africans to find the correlation between their religion and another, because naturally we know how to adapt, unlike some people. Anyway, so it developed a whole new sense of living, thinking, being. So to combine Christianity and African religion like voodoo, came hoodoo, you know. And they didn't call it this during this time. That was just their way of living. So to be who I am and to be on this journey and to deny Christianity as an important factor in my life is crazy. It's insane. I cannot negate the power that black, like African people, put on Christianity during slavery. We cannot deny that. I can't deny that. So yes, I'm not Christian, but I utilize the Bible because I know that there's power within it because my ancestors invoked the power, right? So I'm so grateful to have been grown up in a Christian household, because still to this day I remember Psalms, the Lord's Prayer. I remember specific scriptures in the Bible that I utilize to this day. So I would never change anything about how I grew up. And I'm glad that I was born into a family like that, because we had to familiarize ourselves with scripture. We had to familiarize ourselves with the power of prayer. We had to familiarize ourselves with certain things, and those things are ingrained in my DNA to this day, and I utilized it, right? So more of the story, this is me, this is who I am, this is who I've been, this is what I signed up for. So that's that. When did you feel the most drawn to spirituality, and when did you discover it? Spirituality is a word that simply means to discover oneself. In my opinion, that's what it means. It's a journey back to the self. And I've always been connected to myself. You grow through certain things that just strengthen your connection with yourself. When you're able to listen, yeah, that's what it is. But in simple terms, I guess to answer that question is to keep yourself educated. Keep yourself reading and keep yourself knowledgeable about things that are going on, things that went on before you. So that's how I would say to keep it going. Keep asking questions. Keep reading. Keep looking things up. Keep challenging your beliefs. And keep learning. Just keep learning. Like, you're never going to reach a point in your life where you know everything. So there's more to learn. There's always more to learn every day. Like, there's always more to learn. Keep yourself educated. It came easy to me because I love learning. Like, and if anybody who went to school with me, you know this. I always had good grades. I crowned myself for having above 4.0. People used to take it as bragging, but I love to learn. I love to learn. I love to know it all. And that's why people can never say I don't know what I'm talking about, because I can show you what I'm talking about. Advice on finding self in general and how to do so through spirituality. One thing I can say that's different from what I have been saying is to talk to your grandparents, talk to your parents, talk to your elders, talk to the people in your community. Ask them how they did things. Ask them how they how they got through things, how they got through slavery, not slavery, but how they got through segregation, how they got through hardship. Talk to them, because these are people who are directly connected to you, and this, you need to talk to them, right? Talk to your elders, talk to your grandparents, talk to your aunts, your uncles, and ask them about their life, and get to know them, because as you're going to realize, is they're also a reflection of you. When you get to know your family, you are also getting to know you. You'll say, oh, that's why I think like that, or oh, that's why I do that, oh, that's why I have a natural calling to this type of thing, because my grandmother did it. Sometimes you'll realize that you are literally your family. So when people have such disconnectedness with their family, it's hard for them to get to know themselves, because, well, to get to truly know themselves, because they're not knowing what they came from. And how do you do this if you don't have a strong connection with your family? Ask God about it. You know, ask God to bring you in connection with people who can help you learn about yourself. Because God will help you, you know, and whatever, the God, the universe, the creator, whatever you call it, it's the same thing. Talk to God. Talk to God. Talk to God about it. Like, if you really feel like you don't have the answers, talk to God about it. I promise you, you will get it if you're willing to listen. How do you listen to your intuition? How do you differentiate it from fear, anxiety, conscious thoughts? It's immediate, right? And it's quiet. It's not always immediate, let me not say, but it's quiet. The answers are quiet. They're quiet. They come up when you least expect it. It's not something that you ponder on. And then most times the things that you are intuitively picking up on is not something that you want to hear. So that's that, and I could talk about that all day. So let's switch this up. What was the true awakening you had to take spirituality very serious? To take it very serious. I really don't know. What urged me to take it serious is when somebody gifted me a book about it. You know, somebody gifted me a book about spirituality and my roots, and I felt so connected to it, and I knew that it was some more. It was more, and it was more, and it was more, and it was more. So what urged me to take spirituality serious was my curiosity about life. When I was gifted those books and this knowledge and mentorship, I'm like, okay, if I can get this, imagine if I can get this. Imagine, I have just excitement for what was to come, excitement for more knowledge, excitement, like, just if I could get connected with my ancestors, oh my gosh, just imagine how they would feel over there. Just excitement, you know, excitement for life, excitement for what was to come, growth. You know, I never stopped growing. When I was guided to new knowledge, well, I was guided back to myself. I already knew, deep sense of me, the deep part of me knew that I had found myself. Well, I was starting to find myself. I was starting to get back on the journey to self, which is spirituality. How do you strengthen your gifts and abilities and connection to source? The way to build relationships, right, is to, with source, is to pray or to speak to God and to meditate and to quiet your mind. So all of these terms can scare us, right? Oh, meditation. When you think of meditation, you think of, you know, just closing your eyes, being completely still. That's a form of meditation. But meditation is silencing your mind and being in your body. And you can be doing that by just walking. You can be doing that by driving. You can be doing that by cooking, because it's the act of being present. So the first piece of advice that I can give to strengthening your connection with God and yourself is to be quiet and be present. Be in your body. You know, connect with your senses, your smells, the feelings, the taste. Like, connect with your 5 senses. Top 3 favorite books. Oh my gosh, where is it? Where are you? Of the Water and Spirits by Patrice Malidama Soman. Get this book. Jambalaya is a good book. I haven't repurchased that book since my last home. Jambalaya is a good book. and Intuitive Living by Alan Seal. I'm currently letting somebody borrow that book. That's top 3 favorite books. Yeah. I really want to start my own spiritual herbal business. Any tips? Ask yourself why you want to do it. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing first. And once you know why you're doing it, you will start making decisions that align with that. So, do you want to start a spiritual herbal business to make money? Do you want to start a spiritual herbal business to heal yourself? Do you want to start a spiritual and herbal business to heal the world? Like, what is your purpose behind it? So, I guess understanding your purpose behind what you want to do will guide you in the right direction. And do as much research as possible, especially when it comes to herbal healing. You need to do as much research as possible. Read as many books as you possibly can, and be a testimony of the things that you want to do, right? So heal yourself first. Heal your immediate family first. What is your connection with yourself like first? Because you have to be able to actually show people what you're trying to give them. I see many people who have businesses and some type of spirituality, but their lives are like completely different. Like, they don't really live that life, and you could tell, right? So 1, ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. 2, do as much research as you can. And 3, live the life that you are trying to put out and get other people to live, right? How do you manage to protect your peace when you got low vibes lingering around? I can speak for this. Prayer, commanding energy, tapping in with your power, tapping in with your creative side, knowing that you have the power to literally change and move things around. What I can say is to create a sense of calmness in your mind, be able to control your thoughts, your actions, take control over you, right? And remind yourself that that is not you. Continue to remind yourself, like, that's not me, that's their energy. That's not me, that's their energy. So creating an actual barrier and a wall between you and negative energy is like the first step. You should, like, acknowledging that this is not my energy. I know that that's not me. So that's how you protect your peace. I know that's not me. You got some shit going on. I'm gonna be over here doing what I do. I'm gonna remain focused. How do you remain focused? Breathe. If you noticing that you're being affected by somebody's energy, I promise taking 3 to 7 deep breaths will bring you back to clarity. I promise you. Take control over your nervous system. Taking control over your nervous system, taking control over your body, not allowing others to affect your energy, not allowing like things outside of you to affect your energy. That's a real power move right there, because it's always the person that's in the midst of chaos that's able to center themselves, that's able to keep themselves grounded. That's the powerful person right there. So ask yourself, what are some ways that make you feel at peace? And the reason I'm not giving specific things, because what brings me joy and peace, it may not bring you joy and peace. Sitting in quietness may not bring me joy and peace. Drawing may bring you joy. Writing music may bring you joy. That's why I'm saying you gotta figure out what you like to do, or what brings you peace. And whatever it is that brings you peace, do it. I think I'm going to stop there. I'm going to answer some more of these questions, because there's a lot more in specific detail later. So yeah, so I hope that answers some of y'all questions about me. Got to know me a little bit, and got to learn a little bit. And yeah, so we're gonna be back with some more answers to some of these questions in detail, about specific ways connect with your ancestors, specific ways to actually protect your energy with certain herbs, things like that. We're gonna get into that soon. But I do want to leave you with this. Everything that works for me, it may not work for you, right? My beliefs may not be your beliefs, right? I'm going to always encourage you to seek knowledge. I'm always going to encourage you to ask questions. I'm always going to encourage you to talk to your family. I'm always going to encourage you to go out here and command the energy to align with you. I'm always going to tell you to stay grounded and control your nervous system. I'm going to tell you things like that. I'm not always going to give you the specifics. I'm not always going to give you exactly what I do, because that's not what I do, right? And a lot of my things and my knowledge is sacred. Some things are sacred, and some things are not meant to be spread out in the world, right? So I want you to remember that. Your knowledge, your life is sacred. Not everything that I do will work with you. Not everything that you do will work with me. Okay? I love y'all, and I'll see you next time. Peace.